Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Fandom Show. I'm so happy you're here with me today. This was originally intended to be part one of a two-part Animal Crossing series, but it's actually going to be kind of a three-part series. Basically, this video is just going to be an intro to the other two videos, and the two videos that follow this one are going to have a little more meat on them. So the first video is going to be an Animal Crossing series retrospective. Believe it or not, it's been around since 2002, so 18 years now. There's been 6 different games in the mainline series, as well as a few others that are out there that I'll talk about in that episode. And the second episode is going to be dedicated to the commerce of Animal Crossing New Horizons, because I think the way in which the economy works in this game is really interesting and worthy of its own video. So I'm very excited to jump into that. So why Animal Crossing? Well, basically everybody's playing it right now. It's a big fad. Anybody who's got a Nintendo Switch is probably familiar with this game, and I wanted to jump into it a little bit. So Animal Crossing is what's called a life simulation game. Now, if you don't know really what that is, the best way that I can think of to describe Animal Crossing is if you take SimCity and combine that with the non-combat elements from a Zelda game, and then splash over that with a nice, cheerful, colorful Mario aesthetic, you would get something like Animal Crossing. It doesn't have stages or bosses like your traditional video game. There's no way to beat it. The game just ends whenever you feel like you don't want to play anymore, which sounds kind of silly and lame, but it's really a lot more than that. So you might think, well, if there's no stages or levels, where's the challenge? Well, the challenge is whatever you want the challenge to be. So the idea in New Horizons is that you go to a deserted island and you build a house there, you invite other people to come there, animals of course, and you try to build a civilization on this island. But you can do it basically however you want to. So if you want a quiet island with not a lot of activity, you can do that. If you want a bustling high-tech island with a lot of activity, you can do that. If you want a log village, you can do that. Maybe you just want to get all the creatures that are in the museum, you can do that too. So the challenge is, again, whatever you want it to be. And that's not the kind of game that appeals to anybody. Again, it's not a traditional game. There are no boss characters, is no leveling up, there are no bad guys. Well, okay, maybe there's one, but we'll get more into that in one of the upcoming videos. Now, obviously, Animal Crossing New Horizons is a huge hit. I do believe it's the best-selling title in the Animal Crossing series, and it did come at a very good time in a sense. The reason for it is that it got released right at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, which is obviously not a good time. But the thing about it is that this game provides an escape for people. You can go to this deserted island and you have a world that is completely under your control. It can be whatever you want to be. It's a nice relief from the very uncertain reality that we live in right now, and this is what a big part of the reason why it's become so popular. Not that animal games weren't popular before, but it really has exploded with New Horizons. And we're going to look at that more when I do the series retrospective in the first episode. I had never played an Animal Crossing game before New Horizons. I had plenty of people who love this series. I considered jumping into it back when I had a 3DS, never did. I know, my mistake. But this time around, like, everybody I knew was playing Animal Crossing, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy Animal Crossing this time. I hope that I like it, because my $60 ain't coming back. Let's see how it goes. It took me a little bit of getting used to, but I very much enjoyed it. It is definitely my kind of game. I like it because for a creative person, what Animal Crossing does is it gives you a blank canvas and it gives you the paints and it says, here, make something beautiful. And I love that because I'm a creative person, and this game lets me really explore that and express that in a very unique way. And I think the same is true of a lot of other creative people that are drawn to this game. So that about wraps it up for our intro episode. The next couple of episodes should be out in a couple of weeks' time. I hope you'll be looking forward to those. I do thank you as always for watching, and have a great rest of your night.